the Bureau Directors designate to enter.
請大家合照。
We'll start with a photo call.
拉低佢，拉低佢。開咗㗎而家。
OK， 好，後邊 OK。
Are we ready? Those at the back.
好，多謝大家嚇。
Thank you. Bureau Directors, please be seated. We'll first hear from Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism Designate, Mr. Kevin Young. Friends from the media, members of the public, I am honored to receive the nomination of the CE-elect and the trust of the CPG for their appointment to become the Secretary for Culture, Sports and Tourism. This is a post where I can create new grounds. Well, the portfolio came from existing bureaus and they were amalgamated to become the new bureau. This exercise will create a synergy. We will be able to create more and ensure the long-term development of culture, sports and tourism. We can also position Hong Kong as the center for East and West cultural exchange under the 14th five-year plan. We will be able to showcase the soft power of our country. We will also be able to provide multiple pathways for youngsters and provide more opportunities for Hong Kong people. I believe that leveraging on my rich experience, I will be able to tell the national story as well as the Hong Kong story better. Under the one country, two systems, Hong Kong will continue to become the capital of events, culture, as well as sports. We will enhance understanding of our country. We will boost the confidence of our history. I do believe that my experience as the Secretary for Education would serve me well. I have confidence. I will do my best, and I will stick to my original intent to make contributions to our country and to Hong Kong. We'll work with stakeholders for the new drive to take Hong Kong to a new level. Thank you. Thank you, Secretary. Please be seated. We'll now hear from the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury designate, Mr. Christopher Hui. Friends from the media, members of the public, good afternoon. I thank the CE-elect's nomination and the CPG's appointment so that I can become the Secretary for Financial Services and the Treasury in the 6th term of the government. About 2 years ago, I had the honor to receive the nomination of the Chief Executive as well as the appointment of the CPG to become the Secretary. And I said that it felt like coming home. Today is Father's Day. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish all fathers a happy Father's Day. What more can we do for this home of ours? We can continue to attract talents from the mainland as well as from overseas. As the Chief Executive-elect said, we are result-oriented. We can deepen and widen our market. Secondly, we can make use of financial services to serve the public. Thirdly, as our colleagues have said, that given the fast-changing external environment, we will preserve stability in our financial system using a bottom-line mentality. I borrow words from a poem. I believe that with the support of everyone, including members of the LegCo, we will continue to work, taking baby steps to do more. I do believe that we will have a brighter future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hui. Please be seated. I'd like to invite the SED designate, Mr. Algernon Yao, please. Fellow citizens, friends of the media, I am truly honored to be nominated by the Chief Executive elect and appointed by the CPG as the Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development for the sixth term, so that I have the opportunity to serve Hong Kong and the nation. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Algernon Yao. I've been working in the aviation sector for more than 40 years. I started from the grassroots, and I became the chief executive of an airline company and also an executive director on the board. I'm also chairman of a subsidiary of an airline company. I've also taken part in chambers, government organizations, and tertiary institutions. Prior to the appointment, I was chief executive officer and board director of a new airline company. I've been experiencing a lot of different challenges, and I've been liaising a lot with the various organizations in the mainland and globally. And that has earned me a lot of expertise and experience. I am honored to be given the opportunity to serve Hong Kong and to serve my motherland, in particular, in terms of the development of GPA and also to the opportunity to enhance Hong Kong's aviation status. I will be committed to my work and serve together with my team, the people of Hong Kong, to enhance Hong Kong's economic development and see how Hong Kong can benefit from the dual circulation in the context of the GPA, and how Hong Kong can play a good role, and under CEPA, and how can Hong Kong develop the new markets. And we will be expanding the multilateral and bilateral relations. This will be important for Hong Kong's economic development. The CEDB covers a broad range of areas that we can go into detail, but because of the time constraint, I will save them for the future. I am confident that under the leadership of the CE-elect, all the officials appointed by the CPG, together with the experienced team, will be able to work together to create a new chapter for Hong Kong, so that we can rise to the challenges and scale new heights for Hong Kong. Thank you. Thanks very much. Mr. Yang, please be seated. I'd like to invite the Secretary for Transport and Logistics, Mr. Lam Sai Hong. Fellow citizens, friends of the media, I am honored to be nominated by the CE-elect and appointed by the CPG to become the Secretary for Transport and Logistics in the sixth-term government. This portfolio is responsible for the transport policy, aviation, land transport, marine transport, and logistics development. All these policies are intended to make sure that our policies will be able to ensure a smooth traffic and smooth transportation, and to ensure Hong Kong can maintain the international maritime and aviation status. And that's very much the area emphasized under the 14th Five-Year Plan. Hong Kong is made two important centers. There is ever increasing demand for transport needs. This is going to be a significant challenge, and this is driving me to move forward. We have to enhance the infrastructure facilities to cater for public needs, and I will be committed to improving the cross-boundary transportation and goods delivery for us to be integrated into the national development and enhance Hong Kong's competitive edge. We have to enhance Hong Kong's aviation and maritime status, and this is going to be important to the logistics development as well. We will be collaborating with the trade to develop logistics industry and make sure Hong Kong will become the logistics hub in the region. To take these forward, other than the work put in by my team and myself, we need to have the support of the stakeholders and the members of the public. I will be liaising closely with the trade and the public and get our job done in a pragmatic manner.
好，
Thank you, Mr. Lam. Please be seated. We will now invite Secretary for Development Designate Ms. Bernadette Lin to speak. Members of the Hong Kong public, friends from the media, good afternoon. I was nominated by the Chief Executive-elect and was appointed by the CPG to be the Secretary for Development. I express my gratitude for the trust they have on me. And I do believe that the trust is attached with expectations. I was the Permanent Secretary for Development on Planning and Lands. And it was at a time when land supply was a key area of the work of the government. The Development Bureau has adopted multi-pronged approach to increase land supply and housing supply. In the coming few years, we will do more to make sure that these plannings and our work will be targeted and be realized. We will continue to work to identify land supply and renewal of all districts. Our goal is to improve people's standard of living and to create favorable conditions for Hong Kong's long-term development. Together with my team, we will aim to enhance quantity, efficiency, effectiveness, and speed of our work in terms of land development. I will work closely with the different expertise and professionals to build a better Hong Kong. And I will bear in mind that in the process of development, people matters. I am appointed to become a member of the governing team. I know the onerous task on my shoulders, and I will remind myself not to be afraid and to trust. I hope that I can continue to contribute towards our society and our country. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Lin. Please be seated. We'll now hear from the Secretary for Housing Designate, Ms. Winnie Ho. Members of the public, friends from the media, good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to express my heartfelt gratitude towards the CE-elect for his trust on me. And I thank the Financial Secretary and the Deputy Financial Secretary for letting me become a member of their team. I moved from the Architectural Services Department to the Housing Bureau. It's a huge challenge to me. It makes me more determined. To do my work well. Very often I see appalling housing conditions of many families. They live in tiny space. Children have to do their homework on the bed. And they have to share a tiny space to carry out their daily activities. My work can make a difference. It means a lot to me. I can change lives. I can make people feel happy. People describe our work on housing as key of the priority area. And some people describe our work that we have to put our knuckle down and to work. I will work closely with the Secretary for Transport and Logistics. As you know, that we're all part of a team in the government. We have tacit understanding. We can effectively communicate to resolve problems. I know that friends from the construction industry are also listening. I will reach out to you on the first day of my work, asking for your help. I would ask you to tap into your network, your resources, your knowledge, and your expertise. I know that you have the heart to help Hong Kong people to resolve the housing problem. Our colleagues in the housing department have been working very hard. I'm sure you will continue with your hard work to help more families. We will all work together to provide public housing, to provide stability for Hong Kong people.
Secretary for Civil Service Designate, Ms. Ingrid Young, please. Fellow citizens, friends of the media, I am honored to be nominated by the CE-elect and appointed by the CPG to be the Secretary for Civil Service for the new term of administration. The civil service team is the backbone of Hong Kong. They are responsible for implementing one country, two systems. They play an important role in the enforcement of or implementation of policies. In 2021, the civil servants have signed the declaration to safeguard, to uphold the basic law and to swear allegiance to the Hong Kong SAR and to be accountable to the Hong Kong SAR government with dedication. The civil service has to move on with times. We have to make sure the civil servants will remain highly efficient and are prepared to embrace changes. The challenges and opportunities abound in future. Civil servants have to make constant changes to create a better future for Hong Kong. I'll be listening with modesty, views regarding the civil service so that the civil service will go from strength to strength. In the new era, we will be able to resolve problems with precision and overcome problems and build a better Hong Kong. Together with the civil service associations and unions and various grades and ranks to understand their sentiments and the difficulties that they face and also their expectations and try to resolve the problems together. Since university graduation, I joined the civil service. I've been working in the government for 36 years now. The work in the civil service gives me tremendous sense of satisfaction. I am proud to be part of the civil service. In the coming 5 years, I'll be leading the civil service team to serve Hong Kong and also to make contribution to the nation. Thank you. I'd like to invite Mr. or Professor Sun Dong, Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. I am Sun Dong. I am truly grateful to the CE-elect for nominating me to be the Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. I'm also grateful to the CPG for making the nomination. I came to Hong Kong in 1994 and I also was educated overseas. Since I've come back to Hong Kong, I've been working on the front line of scientific research. It's been more than 20 years now. There are many. I was a scholar, and I throw in my lot with Hong Kong. And today I have the honor to be part of the governing team, and this is really an honor to me. The C-elect talked about the importance of enhancing Hong Kong's competitiveness. The key thing is the development of innovation and technology, and Hong Kong is going to be developed as a high-tech center. Myself and my team will be working very hard to develop Hong Kong as a smart city and also to implement reindustrialization and to enhance Hong Kong's advantages. And I'm going to make sure that this will take place. I decided to stay in Hong Kong, not just because I like Hong Kong's culture. I like Hong Kong's East-West culture. Most importantly, under the one country, two systems, Hong Kong can create a platform for innovation and technology. Today, Hong Kong has got rid of the trouble, and we are moving towards prosperity. There are many young people who, like me in the past, under the Lion Rock spirit, under the one country, two systems, can create a better future for Hong Kong. Thank you.
This is the question and answer session of the last session. Before you ask questions, please identify your media outlet and limit your number of questions to one. The one in blue over here. I'm from Ming Pao. I have two questions. First, in relation to housing. Ms. Ho, current waiting time for PRH is 6 years. By how much can you reduce it in your term? 4 years, 3 years? And Taiwan media mentioned about your grandfather. And I have a question for Professor Sun. Previously, you criticized UGC system. Well, UGC is not part of your portfolio. How would you promote reform in relation to the criteria of resources bidding? I will answer the first question first. The figure is a result. Our goal is to exhaust all avenues to expedite housing production. Even by 1 or 2 months, we have to do it. I will have to get more information from the Housing Department about the basis of the figures. To me, we have to be determined to do better. As I said, we have to enhance coordination. Certain things can go in tandem. there may be new methods for us to increase our speed as well as our quantity. The second question. My stance is that I support the one country, two systems, and I also uphold the basic law. With my experience in the private sector, I will make contributions to the government to enable sustainable economic development. I will answer the third question. Thank you for it. The operation establishment of the UGC has their own history. In the past few decades, UGC has done a lot of work in the academic development of Hong Kong. We have 5 universities that ranks within the first 100 in the world. In the LegCo, together with other legislators, we have made comments on possible reforms and improvement of the UGC. These are constructive comments. We have RGC, which is responsible for research grant. This has done a lot of work for research work in Hong Kong. So I hope that my bureau will work better with RGC and UGC so that Hong Kong can maintain its international competitiveness. Thank you. The one with the red tie. I'd like to ask Mr. Yao. You mentioned about 40 years of experience in the aviation industry. Under the Commerce and Economic Development, you will have to deal with matters relating to RTHK governance as well as communications. How can you apply your experience in this regard? When you choose your team, would you choose people from these fields? And I'd also like to ask Bureau Secretaries in charge of housing. The CPG has issued a statement saying that they would like the Hong Kong government to deal with housing issues such as caged homes. So I'd like to ask Bureau Directors, do you have any preliminary ideas as to how to increase quantity and expedite housing speed production to resolve the problem? In answer to your question, the operation of the RTHK is done in accordance with the RTHK Charter. They have their public service broadcaster mission and vision. That is achieved, done with the support of the RTHK. I don't have anything else to say. We don't have any decisions in relation to other questions. For housing supply, well, it starts with land supply, so I will answer first. As you can see, in the past few years, when it comes to land supply, we have different strategies. We have the Northern Metropolis as well as the artificial island at Kao Yi Chow. We make use of brownfield site, so we have delivered strategies. As I said in my opening speech, that we need to realize these strategies. I do understand that we have to do more work. I know the expectations on us that we need to streamline our procedures. A few months ago, I have proposed certain measures to streamline procedures. I've been talking to different groups. The next challenge is to introduce the bill to the LegCo by the end of this year. We still have to go through administrative procedures. On top of that, we will enhance coordination amongst different policy bureaus. Well, with the addition of deputy secretaries, I believe that it will go a long way to help with improved coordination. I will answer questions about housing. I hope you feel the team spirit of this governing team, while I was thinking about how to answer, the Secretary for Development has taken the chance to answer first. So in relation to housing production, we have cooperation with different bureaus where we have to put road network in place. Mr. Lam Sai-hong is someone I know very well in the civil service. So we have a good understanding. We will make use of technology as well as new construction methods. And with Professor Soon, we are looking at new production and construction methods to solve problems. So it's a cooperation and collaboration with different areas. I'm from cable TV. I'd like to ask Mr. Kevin Yeung, what do you think about the change of election of the Art Development Council? Have you been to M+? Would you take the initiative to cooperate with the WKCD authority? And I'd like to ask Mrs. Ingrid Yeung, in relation to civil service pay adjustment, the indicator, the PTI was 7% for the upper band. Do you think it's appropriate? Do you think the new EXCO will endorse that? How will it affect governance of the civil service? Well, some people say, Professor Soon, that you don't have relevant experience. How can you coordinate and lead your bureau? Perhaps I will talk about the Art Development Council. We are aware of the new election method of the upcoming election. The Home Affairs Bureau has explained. And the Art Development Council will have to go through the relevant procedures. The HAB has already clearly explained the rationale behind the change. I don't have anything to add at this moment. In relation to the future operation of the Council, it will be done by members returned from the new election. I do believe that it will be better. And as to whether I visited M+, well, I haven't. There are a lot more other people who want to go, so I let them go first. The West Kowloon Cultural District plays a very important role in Hong Kong's cultural development. We'll see how we can make use of the development of the WKCDA in the development of our culture in Hong Kong. In relation to civil service pay adjustment, the focus, more often than not, is put on the net indicator of the pay trend indicator. The indicator is only one of the factors to be considered by the EXCO. They will also consider other factors as well, including the economic condition of Hong Kong. That includes the unemployment rate, the underemployment rate. The EXCO will also consider the change in inflation, in consumer price index, public finance, morale of the civil service, and demands and requests from staff unions. So the indicator itself is not the only factor to be taken into account. We will take up the work as soon as possible. I will answer your third question. Thank you for the question. I do believe that with the new government, they always recruit people from outside the government. And these people will not have any experience within the government. But why would they do it? It's because they want to recruit people from different factors into the team to enhance governance. I was born on the mainland. I studied overseas, and I have been in Hong Kong for 2 decades. I know Hong Kong very well. I also know the technology development in the world quite well. I have a lot of network in different sectors. So I have also worked in relevant organizations as well. In the past 6 months, I have been a legislator. So I've learned quite a lot about the operation of the establishment. I don't like the term to lead because you can't rely on a person alone to do anything. You need a team. So I will put a good team together in the Bureau, and I will work with others. Under the leadership of Mr. John Lee, we will start a new chapter for Hong Kong. Thank you.
灰色恤
The one in grey shirt, please. Now TV. Mr. Professor Sun Dong, you said a moment ago that you are joining the government from outside. In terms of the expertise, what expertise do you think you have which is better than other candidates? And you are the only one who speaks Putonghua. Do you think that this would have any impact on your work? Are you going to be learning Cantonese so that you can communicate better? And also in terms of housing and land, it was said a moment ago that there is no indication or indicator as to how fast the new public housing will be built, and also about the transitional housing. Do you have anything more specific that the Hong Kong Current Affairs Office talked about resolving the livelihood issues? How are you going to speed up the housing production? One last question for Mr. Kevin Yeung. You said you'll be visiting the M Plus Museum. Have you also seen the local tournaments? The Hong Kong football team has been able to gain entrance to the Asian football game.
你可以通过讲广东话 ，OK， 我是试听的 ，OK。那么今后我要讲多点广东话，特别是我落区宣传科技政策，我同同事们沟通，我会多讲。同时呢，我会尽量多学习啊，但是我底下沟通。
Well, I can communicate in Cantonese. I understand it full well. It's just that when speaking, I would prefer to use Mandarin. In relation to housing, well, if you're talking about actual indicators, we'll have to wait till we start our work for policies to be formulated. I came from the Architectural Services Department. So in relation to how much elbow room we have, I will have to talk to the housing department. I'll have to visit construction sites before I make any decisions. In relation to the Asian Cups, of course, I have followed it. It's been many years. We now have entered the final week. It's very encouraging. In relation to football development in Hong Kong, for quite a long time, people have been picking their brains to try to find ways to arouse the same passion like we've seen many years ago. I will talk to my team. Our goal is not just local football. As long as it's a game that Hong Kong people are interested in, as long as something that people would like to participate in, we will use different ways to promote sports development so that we'll have more opportunities to watch good games and to even participate. That's the end of the a question and answer session. This is also the end of the press conference. Thank you.